looks like we're starting. Let's see how many people come along to a dreadful HP DV6 event. Chris! Chicken dinner for you, buddy. Chicken dinner for you. What are you doing? You just getting up ready for work? Hey, Bobby. DV6 dead GPU call. A little premature, isn't it, Chris? A little premature. Come on, you gotta give me some chance of describing things. I guess we'll see, hey? Now, why do the sneezes always have to start just as I start streaming? I mean, honestly. Hang on, I gotta sneeze this one out. Can you believe it? As soon as I hit the mute switch, it ran away. I've got a sneeze that has, what do you call it? Stage fright. Getting ready. Okay. Let's see. Well, it actually is surprisingly clean. This must be one of the last of the DV6 generation that they produced, or something close to it. It's in good condition. It's got a Blu-ray drive. What do we got? 8 gigs of RAM. It's no it's not a piece of junk per se. Let's see. G'day, Slider68. Yep, it's an A10 and Radeon graphics. Oh, this will be fun. Chris, I hope you're not right. I'll reach through the internet and throttle you if you are. What am I after? I think I'm after a power brick, just to see what's going on. Yep. Power brick coming up. Alright, we're back. And because I didn't pick up the Dell one, I picked up the HP one instead. That's okay. There's about half a volt difference supposedly, but no one really cares. I think HP tried to do that to force people to try and use their stuff. And then everyone's like, no one takes any notice of that, they just plug it in. If it fits in the hole, it gets plugged in. Which of course has led to a few interesting events by accident. Alright, come on, there you go. Basically this one's just come in as god awful slow. So, I guess we'll see what we got. Hey Mike. Hey CryJ. Seems like the morning gathering is here. Supposedly the shortest day of the year here in Australia, or the southern hemisphere rather. Where was my keyboard and mouse? God damn it, I'm really disorganised this afternoon, or this evening. Oh well, I'll fire it up and... I said I'll fire it up. Oh, there it goes. Come on, no, we don't want that. We'll take a boot option please, which will be F9. F9, thank you. Let's hope it goes. Yep, there we go. Any word on getting pad PCBs for open board view? Slider, oh, were you on the IRC earlier today? I can't remember. Anyway, at this point, no, nothing. I think it's going to have to get to the point where we just find someone who has a copy of pads uh, or the CAD program that produces it, and we'll make them export these iPhone and such PCB files into the ASCII format, and then from there we only got to do it once, and then everybody can distribute the iPhone ones as a package of ASCII files, and then we don't really have to care anymore, because really the whole compelling reason behind trying to get the PCB format running, the binary one, is so we can look at these iPhone files. But if we get someone to convert them into the ASCII version, then we're set. I mean, it'd be nice to get the PCB version running, readable directly, but I don't think that's going to happen in a hurry. And every single person that's tried ends up taking exactly the same path that all of the rest of us have. And you can see the data, but you can't find the delimiters. There's, you know the structures there. It's fixed width structures. But we can't correlate it together. We can't tie it together in the index tables. We don't know how they're being cross-referenced and things like that. And that's how we get every single time. So it's just going to be easier if someone converts the PCB binary files to ASCII files, and then it'll work in Open Board View, because we do support the ASCII version of the pad's PCB file. Alright, temperatures are good. Nothing wrong with the temperatures here. Control Z, BG. I'm gonna see. Damn it! How the hell am I gonna write? Oh, son of a! This is why I like my external keyboard and mouse. There we go. DD rescue VF X0 P16, and we're just going to watch the transfer rate and see how it goes initially. At the very least, if you can get through the first, say, 20 gigs of data and there's no glitches, then you pretty much, it's not a guarantee, but you have a pretty good chance of knowing, well, if I do have to come back and rescue this data, I know at least the drive is functioning well enough for me to get the file allocation tables, if nothing else. So we're up to 4 gigs already. This drive's moving pretty quick. Let me catch up with chat while I wait for that to go. Okay, Castle. No, it's just a slowness. I'm guessing it's actually going to be just software junk. The drive itself seems pretty quick. I mean, we're averaging 116. Why am I holding this? We're averaging 116 megabyte a second. It's not the greatest, but it's pretty good. Yeah, it's got the thumbprint scanner, which nobody uses. Okay, there's probably one or two of us. Yeah, Mike, longest day for you guys in the Northern Hemisphere. It's probably the hard drive. Ah, Chris, your theories are falling apart here. Started out with Fortran. Well, I presume that would have been Fortran 77. Funnily enough, of all the fixed format languages in terms of their layout, Fortran 77 was one that I quite liked. But Python, oh god, I can't handle Python with its active white space. And yet Fortran was also, but it was column formatted, as you will know. I didn't do a lot with Fortran 77. I probably did more with Prolog at that stage. Lisp is another one I never really got my head around. I find functional languages just, I don't know, they do my brain in. I blow my stack with them. Okay, Whitehawks. They got porn viruses. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, we're up to 17 gigs and it hasn't skipped a beat. So normally when I'm doing a DD rescue on these, the common places you'll see issues, because I'm dumping this all just to the bit bucket to device null, there's nothing, there's no, how do you say it, other variables I really have to care too much about. So if it's made, it hasn't skipped off from 116. But one of the common sort of signs you've got of issues is when you first start the DD rescue, and if you're dumping into device null, it can sometimes sit there and it like stutters a little bit and then gets on its way. That's sometimes a bit of a bad sign, but it can go through the whole drive and not give you any read errors or anything like that. But there's a feature that I put into this, and then the author Antonio finished up for me nicely, where you can dump the transfer rate as you go through the testing process. And when you have a look at the graph, because you don't want to sit here, what have we got, 2 hours it reckons, I'm not going to run it for 2 hours. You don't want to sit here and watch the transfer rate the whole time, so instead in the end it just produces a graph for you and you can have a look at it, and you can usually see if you've missed it. The graph sort of, it slides down as you would expect with the normal hard drive transfer, but then every now and then you'll get these whopping great big valleys, and that's where your problems often can be. There are sometimes little ones, very short, sharp ones. That's okay. That's just there's sort of like a synchronization or aliasing issue with the transfer rates, and they usually only drop down about a third. But if you get them going all the way down the bottom, you got big problems. Hey, Lynn. G'day, hi217. I don't want to create a stunning website. Thank you very much, Wix. No, I don't either. Yeah, but it's helpful, that is true. I do notice it that when I do a live stream, my YouTube advertising income jumps right up. Whereas if I do a edited video and all that, it tends not to. So I'm just trying to profit here. Is that too much to ask? Isn't this a capitalistic society? Money, money, money. Actually, it is. Yeah. This. I don't think this is a hard drive. I'm already 35 gigs in. 36 now. That's well and truly into the Windows area. If it's going to be misbehaving, it will be a smaller glitch, which would not tend to cause general slowdown of the machine. So yeah, it's probably going to be porno viruses. So anyway, we'll kill that. And the temperatures are under 40. Oh great, just as I say, that hits 40. Okay, we'll shut down. Let's H 0. Wix sucks unless you're an Hey Brian, Weiss. Hey Douglas. Doing alright? Oh, I had some fun this morning. I think I'm going to have to ban myself from various commentary with Rossman and Jessa streams. I find I get a little bit stupid with them, and I start, like what Chris just did before, start spouting out things, and that's all good and fun if you're in a community that understands that you're just sort of like taking shots from the hip. But there's a few narcissistic sociopaths out there that seem to get a little crazy on these things, and yeah, I'm just sort of getting a bit sick of it. So, not Lewis or Jess themselves, but just there seems to be a bit of a growth of population, percentage of population that engage in those streams that I tend to clash with, so I'm sort of thinking I should really just take a break. Could also be a failing genetic RAM stick or port. That is true. That is very true. I'll have a look, see if this sucker boots up. Yeah, the LED comes up, but it's just very dim. So here we go. Fortunately, this person knows me quite well, so I can probably get away with um, leaving the stream showing. I already told them that I'll probably be doing this on live stream, and they were like, "Oh yeah, cool." CryJ2000, a few. Alright, come on. I'm trying to be nice here. I can count them on my hand, but it's just a bit annoying, and oh great, I don't know their password. Alright, that's not a big problem. I can fix that. It's Windows 7. So we'll just shut that down and we'll activate the administrator account. Come back to Twitch chat pool. Yeah, hi 217, I agree, but no. Like I said, I am the creator of my own drama. I'm the one that causes the troubles. You've never noticed that if you get too bold and you say something with too much authority, that's usually when the universe turns around and kicks you in the ass and says, "No, you're wrong." And so that's what I've been finding. I'm just sort of like getting a bit too casual. I don't define my context well enough and things like that. Alright, what we're going to do here is we are going to boot back into Ubuntu and we're going to activate the administrator account on this Windows system without having to... What the hell? That booted before quite fine, so why is it... Come on, show me the USB stick. Oh, there it is. PMY RAM is cheap and therefore utter cuck. The password is password, yeah, I wish, yeah. I use conboot to bypass... I don't know what conboot is. Itchy nose. Yeah, the way I do it is I just, like I said, boot into Linux and then just go in and adjust the SAM file. Oh man, I've got to get my keyboard and mouse. This is too painful. Alright. Hey, works straight away. Okay, let's have a look at the petitions on the drive. Make sure we load up the right one. And it helps if you're a super user. And given that we've got 911 gigabytes on one petition, I'd say that's probably it. So, mount device STO2 to win. Then we go into the Windows directory, system32, config, and we should see our SAM file in there. And there we are, we've got a SAM file which you guys probably can't see because it's not high enough resolution. You're just going to have to believe me. There we go. And we go change NT password SAM. Unlock administrator account. Right. Quit. Write the high file. Unmount the Windows file, reboot, easy pie. Did you get to watch my fiasco yesterday? No, I didn't actually. I saw it listed up there and I don't know why I didn't. Maybe, I don't know, maybe when I saw it come up and it was like Chris Long, and I was sort of, oh, screw that, and didn't bother watching. No, just kidding, Chris. You know I like watching your streams. I mean, I really like the sound of Micah dropping shit everywhere. Quoted my customer $500 to fix a drop computer, and all it was the SATA ribbon cable. Oh man, oh that's a win. I'm going to guess then that the computer was dropped while it was off, because otherwise there's pretty much no way that hard drive would survive unless it was a solid state. Up in smoke. Alright, now I've got to watch it. Now that you've told me that there's volatility on there, I'm going to watch it. Yeah, they've definitely not used BitLocker on this one. I know these people. They definitely do not. I have had a couple of machines where people have inadvertently activated certain security layers, and there was one, and this is a bit of an embarrassment for me initially. Uh, um, the hard drive itself was pin locked, and I thought it was the BIOS lock. And when I took the drive out to test it, of course, it came up with basically no access. It wouldn't let me read it or anything like that. And so I wrote it off as a dud. I wasn't able to get their data. And then about 3 months later, I worked out what on earth was gone wrong. So I had to call them back and got their data back. But that was a bit of a embarrassing mistake, that one. It was off? Oh, good. Thank goodness for that. Yeah, this is definitely slow. I mean, it's taken too long to set up the administrator account base files. Holy damn, why does my nose get so itchy when I'm doing live streams? Must be allergic to you guys. The DV6, the one that has GPU that becomes unsolvable. That's certainly one characteristic that a lot of them did have, yeah. The DV6 in general was just a colossal lemon by design. This one here, like I said, I'm fairly sure this is one of their last revisions before they just gave up with this, I think. And then they went to the G series. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure of the history of them, but it seems okay. It's got some better venting. It's still running hot. Oh, they're pretty. Oh, they've got QuickTime on here. Well, there's a first virus there. CryJ 2000. That's Murphy's Law. Damn right about that. The pin code, they what was it? Yeah, they never told me until after I'd done the hard drive examination. So, and the funny thing is, the BIOS. They gave me a pin code for the BIOS, so they didn't give me the pin code for the drive. So anyway, it was a bit of a mess. And like I said, it was quite embarrassing because I basically ended up charging them for a new drive and a whole bunch of stuff, so I had to refund them a bit of stuff there. That was about 5 years ago now. I love how Scam Betas changed their Siski XE to be a video of Gandalf dancing to I haven't seen that one. QuickTime Windows has been deprecated for years. It certainly has. Which, yeah, this machine's about 5 years old, I think. 4 at least. Well, certainly that's going to be one of the first things that goes. Let's have a look. I'm sorry I can't show you. It'd be nice if I could just do a VNC. Yeah, why can't I do it on VNC? I'll probably kill the. What do you call it? Encoding rate if I put VNC on this. Yeah, let's have a look at our capacity. Oh god, we're using half a terabyte. Right, this person's definitely not getting a solid state drive. Maybe I can put them on one of those hybrid ones if I can't get this thing to speed up. Okay, let's have a look at control panel. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's definitely lagging. Yeah. I had a baiting virtual machine. The first thing they did was to syskey, and then after I dropped the call, I went to Porn Harvest. HDMI capture card. Definitely do not have one of those for my Lenovo E550. Well, I could try VNC. Let's give it a go. Don't blame me if everything goes to cuck. What the? Something just jumped up then. I hate it when things pop up like that. Oh, what have we got running by default here? HP Cool Sense. At least I've got. What have they got here? Security Essentials, which is better than pretty much 90% of the antiviruses. Likely should do this through Ethernet. Come on. Let's go Ethernet. I'm guessing this is pretty much just bogged down from crappy software. There's probably a billion things on the startup, which makes it a really boring setup. Public network, close. Let's put this into VNC. Does it run faster and safe? Well, I haven't tested it at the moment, but the thing is, it's not running colossally slow as it is. So I think this just needs a clean up, and it'll be fine. The hard drive is not the fastest. I mean, it's only doing about 116 megabyte a second. So I may suggest to them that they just get something like a modern 7200 RPM one. 168. Now we get into the naughty things, which thankfully you won't see. There we go. Let's get our tight stuff, tight VNC. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Just chop everything out of the MS config. Works 99% of the time. And then I'll do a check disk, and then I'll do an SFC, and then I'll clean up, and then a defrag. It usually gets them by for another year or two. I ended up fucking the the I2C line. Oh, Chris, that's bad. Alright, then next, typical. I'm just installing VNC. We're going to see how this works. I'm sorry to hear that, Chris. Did you? Yeah. How much is that going to hurt you financially? Do you have to buy a new phone, or is it even worse and you have to recover data? At least you can send the balls to Jessa. And if it's really bad, you can give the other ones to your customer. I wonder if that hard drive is even slower than 5400. Have seen some laptops even slower. Yeah, you get those. I think it's a 4200 or something like that. But yeah, I should have checked to see what the drive was when I was in Linux, but that's okay. And one thing I really hate with Windows is the very long delay you have between something needing the what do you call it, administrator approval, and it bringing it up to ask you for it. It catches me out a few times where you think something's just dead, and then before you know it, everything pop, up it comes. Okay, close. Let's see, we've got VNC on which port? 154. Okay. Let's see if we can do this without crashing everything. There's an attempt to save the phone. Data was already backed up. I'm glad to hear that, thankfully for you. VNC Viewer. I'll guess who hasn't installed VNC Viewer. Apt install. X-type VNC. Okay, that's just installing on Linux now. Yeah, the UAC delay, that's it. Thank you, ZX. Yeah, I'm getting really itchy feet at the moment because I've got so many of these iPhone boards that I want to work on so that I can level up my skill to actually start doing useful stuff. I'm still waiting for the bloody microscope. To be fair, the delay is not the order of the microscope, it's just the way that money flows out of YouTube. It's very slow. Okay, VNC viewer 192.168.1.154, I think it was. Yep. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Very interesting. Let's see if I can do this. Might be easier for me to just do it as a whole. Alright, let's try this. Still got audio. Yep, beautiful. Okay, that worked. I see you right here with me now. Better temporary directories are full to the gills, most likely. Yep. Rogue killer, adware cleaner, malware bytes, anti-exploit, CC cleaner, SFC. Yeah, I use ESET, not 32, malware bytes, and then just the normal Windows cleanups. ESET 32, not 32, generally picks up most of the things I need to care about. So shrink this a bit, so that if anyone says anything naughty, it's still captured on stream and I can go back and say, look, it's your fault. Okay, so let's get in here and clean up a bunch of junk. And since I'm get these gloves off, into the bin, another waste. Oh dear God, come on. Chris, when you get back into the stream, because I know you're driving at the moment, I didn't get to send off the iPhone discharge boards yet. I just realised something here, just went boom. Okay. So that, no. Push this up. Not quite, not quite. Oh, for God's sake, go away. That'll do. And I've got the wrong damn one anyway. That'll suffice. HP bloatware. Let's have a look. Oh, yay! Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Yep. Yeah. This is where I really do hate Windows a lot, for the fact that you cannot. I'm just going to turn this off. It's getting in my eye a bit. I'm just going to darken up a little bit. Yeah, the incapacity to remove multiple packages simultaneously, it just drives me flipping up the wall. Yeah, we'll get rid of, where was that? Quick time definitely needs to take a hike. Oh, shut up. You can be muted. Thank you. I always tell people, no antivirus protects you 100%. Yep, I agree with that. 100%. Yeah, the end user is the best protection. That's, yeah, I completely agree with you, Greg. Completely agree with you. At least this thing's got 8 gigs of RAM in it. That's a good start. Alright. Oh, they've got Origin here. Best not to delete that. It's probably Sims, I'd say. Java 8. Update. Yeah. Alright, let's get rid of all this HP crap. Documentation? I don't think so. Sadly, I spend too much time in my day, on too many days, doing exactly this sort of crap. And the worst thing is I usually don't have enough machines concurrently. On-screen display, you're out of here. Yeah, I usually don't have enough machines concurrently in the workshop to be able to make an efficient use of interleaving everything. Instead, usually I've got a situation where it's just one machine, like it is right now, or, I don't know, it never seems to go nice. Let's say, security setup, simple pass. So one thing I really hate is the ASUS, what is it? There's an ASUS auto update tool, software that it has pre-installed, and it just chews the death out of the machine. And a lot of these people are also running on wireless mobile broadband networks, so they're paying through the nose for their data capacity, and they have very limited data capacity. And things like the Windows 10 sharing of updates is a killer for so many of them. Oh, they've got malware antivirus. Okay. 90% of my day, but I usually have 15 to 30 in at all times. Yeah, obviously, at least then you feel like you're still doing something useful for the day. This, it's like, yeah, we're going to spend 2 hours picking crap out. Whereas change systray icon, show all icons, and that way I use exactly what's running and nothing is hidden. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. G'day, Plan B. We're just wasting time, to be honest. This is pretty much nothing interesting to anyone. It's a case of welcome to reality. What is it? Oh god. Alright, whatever. Security assistant. Remove. Finish. I'm being a bit flippant, and I kind of need that light, don't I? I'm being a bit casual with the removal of a lot of this stuff, but as I said, it's only because I really know this person quite well, and I already know what it is they're wanting. Quick launch can go. Set up admin block for midget goat porn. Oh man. It sort of leads me into a story. When I was working overseas and I was looking after the network, well, I should say I was looking after the internet side of the network. That's kind of a bit bright now, isn't it? Oh, well done. That's just... no, still no good. It's almost as bad as Lewis's flickering screen today. We had a pretty aggressive firewall going on for everything because we had 128k. God damn it. We had a 128 kbit ISDN line, or oh no, actually we had an ATM line anyway. So it was pretty limited, and we had 7,000 people throughout the company, all being funneled through this 128k internet line, and that had to account for emails as well. So our firewall was very aggressive, and that was with full caching and squid proxy and things like that. Oh man, this has really pissed me off. Oh well. And so you'd block all the usual things, and then every now and then I'd get a phone call from one of the directors, and they'd be like, can you allow through this IP address?" And I'd be like, "Well, what do you want this IP address let through the firewall for, or through the proxy for?" That's right, it was mostly through the proxy who did all the blocking. And you'd go and find out, and it'd be some god-awful, crazy porno site or something like that. And we're talking late 1990s. And they'd always say to me, it's like, "Oh, it gets pretty boring out here in the middle of nowhere. We need some entertainment." And I'm like, "Man, I can't approve that for you. I'll get shredded by my superiors." Plenty brazen requests. I'd get lots of bottles of Jack Daniels sent to me though, which is a bit of a shame because I really didn't drink the stuff. Yeah, that's right, Greg. Yeah, it's there's no point having all these update things here because it's well and truly out. G'day, Inspirati. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. Security assistant can take a hike. Oh, it's already been installed. Well, why didn't you update your line, you stupid thing? Just set up. I really did enjoy working over there, though. It was excellent. It was very. The job was very dynamic. It changed day to day. One day I'm pulling cable at -5 degrees in some resort nestled in the middle of the mountains, and then the next day I'm dealing with spammers. This was so long ago that when I said to people about spam, people thought I was referring to the canned meat goods as opposed to email spam. That's how far long ago this was, that people did not, as a general rule, know that spam was referring to emails. And a 6 GB hard drive was a hell of a lot of money. Okay, what else we got here that we can trash? Oh, no, leave the SimCity there. Sync to it, never heard of that. It's Microsoft though. Flash players, one of them's got to be. Oh, they've got CCleaner in here too. I actually remove CCleaner from a lot of machines because I find typically the people that install it aren't installing it for the right reasons, or someone's just said to them, "Oh, install this," and yeah. Hey, Metaman2112. Is there a way to have an auto prompt for updates? What do you mean by auto prompt? You sync to it for backups. Okay. Because you can either have unattended backup updates, which is usually the default, although I don't know about Mint, or you can have it just simply so it doesn't say anything. You just do an up. What? Delete my. Oh, I hate this. We recommend exporting each audios on Instagram, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'll leave that in for now, but I'm going to cancel it in the MS config. Sync to okay, also been deprecated. Yep, no surprise. The only thing I generally leave in here is bonjour. great, the Wild Tangent Games was running. Bloody hell. Disable all. Startup. Disable all. What security client? Better leave type VNC in there so that I can get back in. McAfee Security Scan Plus? Bloody hell. Apply. McAfee's another one of those things that really needs to be just buried. 204, that's way old, that needs to come out. Oops. I'll run a latest version in it, and it should be fine. Nikon Message Center, this person is a photographer, so that's fine. Yeah, the Wild Tangent. What am I going to do? Oh, that reminds me. Now I know what tool I want to run. Do any of you use auto runs? Downloads, auto runs. Oh yeah, I've noticed Trend and AVG have joined the crowd with Norton and McAfee. Yeah, I'd say it came down to Java. Oh, sorry, yeah, you're right, Flash too. Yep. Alright. I know you can do pretty much everything I'm doing in auto runs with CC Cleaner, but I've just always generally preferred auto runs because it doesn't stick its fingers in anything else I don't want it to. Trying to convince customers to switch to Chrome and remove Java so no more McAfee. Yeah, good idea. When was the last time anyone encountered a real virus? Well, I've had the crypto viruses here recently. That wasn't very pleasant for the person who was the victim. I gotta say, the people who created the crypto viruses, they covered most of their bases pretty damn well. I've noticed they seem to scrub any of the blank areas on the drive as well. Hey QTech. Avast is bought by what? No, I was going to say AVG was bought by Avast. Oh, well, that explains everything. Yeah. What was I going to say? Nod 30, ESET Nod 32, and Security Essentials seem to be about the only two things that I bother with anymore. Oh, sorry, and Malwarebytes. So I am probably a little bit biased with ESET Nod 32 because I did a lot of work for them back in 2001 or so. I wrote for their Linux version, I wrote a daemonized central scanning server. I don't know if they ever commercialized it or not. But what the hell are you doing in there? Get out of here! What are you doing in the flippin'? You can take a dive too, and all these update things. Facebook updated. Oh my god! Yeah, you're out of here. You're out of here. Google. I don't have a big problem with Google stuff, but I still don't like things being jammed in here. Support assistant, yeah, right. What sort of backup system do I recommend to customers? Yeah, I wish I actually had a good answer for that, but to be honest, do not. So if anyone wants to chip in on that, For me, everything I do tends to be rsync over secure shell, which is fine if your systems are always on. Not so much. Okay, office automatic up, subscription maintenance, telemetry. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to leave the Microsoft stuff in there. What about my logins? Let's have a look at everything. See if I can spot any names I don't like. Cyberlink. Alright, that'll do. QTech, I'm just basically cleaning up this machine software-wise. Batch file backup. No. Yeah, Greg, you and I sound like we pretty much followed the same end process. What happened to my... It's weird, did I just kill that? I did. I clicked the wrong X. That was smart. Okay. We'll reboot this and hopefully it'll come back a bit quicker. Format starter. Don't you mean format C/F? I mostly see pups, yeah. So, yeah, a lot of it is now in that borderline area. There was that site, what was it? Should I uninstall it or should I remove it? It was good for a short while, and then everybody jumped on board on it and basically biased the hell out of the answers, and they just went commercial, and that was the end of that. Now their suggestions are essentially crap. Come on, hurry up, boot. I think what I might do with this person is tell them, yeah, they've got 500 gigs of data on here, so it's not going to be practical for me to suggest a solid state to them, because if they put a 500 in there, it's going to be full within seconds. So I may walk onto the dark side and say get a hybrid SSHD. Bleeping computers, good for them. Yeah, I have found a lot of my search results do end up at bleeping computers, yeah. Where are you located? I am in a little, well, it's not that little, it's bigger than Jess's, country town in North Queensland called Charters Towers. It's a gold mining city, or at least that's how it was founded. And we predominantly do mining and cattle out here. Wow, this is taking way long to... Oh, I'll let it do its thing. So how much is for a solid state drive now? Well, it depends on what size you get, but a little bit under $1 Australian a gigabyte. It tapers off though, so you can get a 500 for I think about 250 Australian dollars now. A good one is a Samsung or something like that. But in this case, they would be wanting to get a 1 terabyte drive, which is not going to be happening. It's just too much money for them. Why isn't this coming up? Whereabouts are you, QTech? If you tell me you're in Townsville or Cairns, I'll probably go, what? Well, it's definitely sluggish coming back up, which is kind of funny considering everything's been dropped out. But I should probably do a check disk on this. I often have found that if there are issues with the file system that checklist can pick up, it can manifest as this sort of really sluggish behavior. Could have sworn I activated VNC, but oh well, do it manually. Here we go. What? Hey Chris, you're welcome back. Mike, I mean, yeah, I sort of could go with that. It's just another thing though that I find that, what's going on here? Why isn't my... For some reason VNC has decided that it doesn't want to let me in without a password. That's annoying. God damn you, Windows. Stop annoying me. Well, plan B, I mean, under normal circumstances, I'd be right there with you and wouldn't be doing this sort of stuff, but unfortunately, sometimes in life, you ain't got no choice. Service cannot be started because of the disabled or because it has no device associated with it. How can it be disabled? Services. Wrong. Actually, I watched Platoon the other night. First time in absolutely eons. Like, I only saw it when it originally came out as a kid. And yeah, I watched it and I couldn't believe all the damn actors in it that I knew. I was like, oh my goodness. And it was quite hilarious to see Dr. Cox from Scrubs in there. And Johnny Depp at that too. I don't know what went wrong with VNC here, but it's getting removed and reinstalled. As Lewis would say, repeal and replace. Small town south of Milwaukee. Oh, okay. Quite a long way away then. Knew a guy in China from Perth. I couldn't understand half of what he said until I got drunk with. Hey, Amy. I think I saw you, Amy. Yes, there you are. Right. Sorry, I was scrolling back and forth like a madman. Yeah. Really unsure as to why Type VNC didn't retain its settings through that reboot, because I know I didn't delete it out of the services. Oh well. I just realised, I think I know why Jess hasn't been streaming quite as much. She's got classes, hasn't she? She's got students and things like that. I think it'd be amusing if I was rich enough to fly over there and participate in these things. Oh yeah, Johnny Depp's Jump Street 21. Yeah, I remember my sister fawning over him quite a bit, as did a lot of women, and they still do. Because Charlie Sheen, on the other hand, crashed and burned quite spectacularly. And the guy that gets killed with like his final death throw sort of thing, the iconic, like on his knees and hands up like that, isn't he the Green Goblin out of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans? Oh, good. Okay, VNC should be back. There we go. So I have no idea what went wrong there, but yeah. Okay. And we're gonna command naturally, of course, this won't work until it reboots, but that's fine. SFC. I'm not used to this keyboard yet. What's the verdict on this computer, Chris? I am William Difford. Thank you very much, CryJ2000. Yes. The verdict on this machine is essentially, I'd say the hard drive is a little slow. It's bogged down with a little bit of crap, but nothing too bad. The only thing I'm worried about is, will an SSHD, which is the hybrid ones, will that provide enough of a performance gain for the client for them to be satisfied with the expense? I'm kind of thinking probably not quite. I'd definitely say this is probably at least no more than a 50 to 5400 RPM. 5400 RPM. I should get the model number. That'll help. It's a ST1000LM. Not quite sure I know that one off the top of my head. Enjoy the Vikings because of Teddy. Hope he can return. Which one's Teddy? Is he the slightly crazy one that designed the boat in the first place or something? Let's see. Momentous 2.5. Doesn't really give me a lot of useful information at the moment. That's what M-Wave are offering. Tales from tech support. Yeah. I haven't got any good ones lately. I think the best one was more the winning that I had the other night with that iPhone 6s Plus, which reminds me I still haven't bought a replacement screen for that. Let's see, storage, 2.5-inch hard drives. Chuck a Crucial MX200 and it'll be fast enough. Yeah, but 1 terabyte. I could put a Western Digital Black in there. I always find them good. Some people complain about them being a bit noisy and a bit gritty, but I'd sooner put that in there than an SSHD. M-Wave is the majority of my parts supply. U-Block. Okay, what's U-Block? Do I not want to know? So we got 1 terabyte SSHD. See, I mean, it's they've all got 8 gig only. which I suppose is understandable, but they all fall back to 5400. So, oh, g'day Leslie, I didn't see you there. Welcome. So yeah, I'd sooner put them with a Western Digital Black, and at least it's got a 5-year warranty on it, and the performance is fairly acceptable out of them. I mean, I know they're not explicitly high-end, high-performance drives, but they're up there. 10 terabyte server storage. Yeah, I need that actually. I wonder what the 8 terabytes are like now. 8 terabyte Seagate. I need another one or two. Archived. Oh, flippy hell. When I bought my first ones, they were $329, and I thought, yeah, they should drop down in price over time, but nope, they just keep on crawling up. uBlock Origin. Now you're making me have to search here. uBlock Origin. Chrome Web Store. $120 for a 5 terabyte. That's pretty good. Oh, good luck with the coffee run. Efficient blocker, easy. What's it actually blocking? That's what I'm trying to work out. Yeah, it does, but it's a Blu-ray drive, and I don't think they'll really want to lose access to that Blu-ray drive for the sake of another hard drive. I was thinking about that as well, because I've actually got a couple of the caddies that you can slide in to put another 2.5 inch in there. What have we got here? Cancel. Let's see how this one. Oh, God. The thing I find with this SFC is that far too many times it says I found errors, but then it says I couldn't fix them. And if you're really unlucky, it leaves your system in a completely botched up state anyway. So yeah, it's kind of like one of those utilities that have no good purpose, but I still run it. Oh, advertisements, right, okay. Normally I use AdBlock, but sure. It's at 50% utilization at the moment. That's for you, Powell. So I took the time to see if I could find a Surface cell phone, and guess what? They don't exist. What do you mean by a Surface cell phone? Do you mean like a Microsoft Surface or something like that? Or have I missed the joke here? Nada. Okay, jack squat, right. Well, I guess while I'm waiting for this to install, I will install the Nod live scanner. Then you have to go look in the logs. Yeah. I don't know why we do these things. It's like, I'll just run it as part of the process. I mean, about 5% of the time it actually fixes something usefully. And a lot of the time when, you look at the CBS log output and stuff, you're like, I have no idea how I'm even going to fix this. Most of the time I'll look in the event log and I have some inkling of maybe what I can do. Maybe it sort of indicates what DLL or binary or something that it's failing on. No thanks. But I'll still run how to have it. eset.com.au. Yeah, with AdBlock, they'll turn that off when I install it. But yeah, no, they're kind of sold out a little bit. Windows update on Windows 7 can take a dump. Oh, yeah. I found the biggest pain with Windows 7 update is, of course, the initial where it chokes on itself because it's got so many updates if you just reinstalled, and then you've got to do the manual, 303.55697 or something like that. Yeah, anyway, I've got it all on my local server, but it's just a bit of a pain. Okay, what am I after here? I am after... Get rid of that. Support, downloads, tools and utilities. Yeah, and Google the event log errors, that's right. Yeah, you got a better chance that way. Download. You have to put your knees together when you shit for a tool. What? Who the yeah. Fuck. Thanks, Amy. I was a little sluggish on that. I couldn't work out whether I missed a joke there or someone's just. Yeah. How's the hard drive condition? The hard drive is fine. It's just slow. It's old. That's all. Yeah, the roll-up packages are getting a bit of a nuisance to do up. They're such a pain, and I find that no sooner do you get one sorted out, you have to go and make another one. I've given up to the point where now I just do all this piece by piece. I know it's not very efficient, and I know that people are going to be screaming it's very unprofessional to do it this way. And quite frankly, I hear that whole unprofessional thing far too many times every day, and I'm just like, flip you. Um, yeah, there's things you choose to do better on. There's things you just choose to accept as they are, and that's up to the person to decide, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, if you're doing something so inefficiently and it's costing you money or your business money or things like that, then sure, yeah, change. But if you're getting the end result and you're not overly compelled to go through the pains of something, then I don't see the issue. Squatty Potty is the beast. Chris Long, is that the one with the rainbow unicorn onto ice cream cone poop? Yeah, because that was pretty bloody funny. I find that if I install 3 or 4 updates after installing a clean Windows 7 Pro SP1, the update seems to show up about 20 minutes. Yeah, I haven't tried. We don't get many of the Pro version, so I don't know whether the Pro release has better handling of it or something like that. But yeah, there does seem to be sort of like a stalling for some reason. I mean, it obviously is the update program, but put in those first couple of ones and everything comes through. Yeah, that's the one, CryJ. Yep. Before I gave up on Win 7, I used to strip out Win 7 telemetry updates. Okay. So, that's just a step too far for me. I couldn't care less about. I mean, I should, but yeah, it's hard. You have to get away from technology sometimes, but still have to have my smartphone laptop with it. Yeah, I reckon people like Candy Crush, if they release their data on when Candy Crush is used and things like that, I think that effectively would have a global map of when everyone goes to the toilet. I mean, okay, you're going to have some addicts, but they're the ones that usually go depend on the 2-hour unlimited life thing. But for the rest of the world, it's like pretty much there you go. There's your scientists could use that to great use. Win10 error messages are too user friendly. Something went wrong. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, that's really paining me, Motor Man. I'm running into that far too much. You get that nice little blue smiley screen with the Q code on it. And as far as I understand, that Q code does just go to the URL that they're showing up anyway. And it's like, thanks, you were completely not useful. I mean, I always thought the blue screen of death was bad enough, but yeah, this new one is. For your information, your mileage may vary. I disable Windows Update, and so yep, that's right. I do that as well, Greg. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, when you're installing it, it first says, do you want to, which option do you want to take, like automatic check first, or don't do any updates? And yeah, I pick the don't do any updates, because otherwise, as you've probably what's compelled you to get to that answer is as soon as you boot up, it starts searching, and then you've got to fight with the whole update system and get rid of the software updates folder and things like that sometimes. So yeah, I know what you mean, and I do that. Chris, I don't know if you got my message before, but the iPhone thing, I've got to try sending it off tomorrow or something like that. Although I'm waiting on those previous boards that I sent last week, and they haven't even been processed yet, so I'm a little concerned. I may hold off. Pardon me. I may hold off sending the iPhone diagnostics board in until I have a confirmation that the first two have been processed, because I'm a little worried about the store, the IT store. I've noticed that their product range is shrinking, and often when that happens, it means the company's starting to not get enough business, which means that their board turnarounds are going to be limited in terms of how quickly it happens, because often they will take they pre-order like a meter square or something like that, and then they just pack all the submitted boards in there, and they won't send it off until all that meter square is used up. There was an American group that I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was SparkFun. I can't remember. But they offered the cheap PCBs service for a while, or started offering it. But the delay was just way too long initially, because they weren't getting enough submissions, and that kind of ticked me off pretty bad. They're now very popular, and every day there's an update being done, or they're sending off. But back then, yeah, yeah, I've seen it take 2 hours exactly. Yeah, and the rest. Yeah. If you don't get on it quick enough, it goes off and does it. Do you have to pay up front when you submit the boards to them? Yes. What happens is you go in and you buy. They're just like product items, and in my case, I had to buy a 5x5 centimeter board, 2 layers, a few other things. And then once you've bought it and you've paid, you then have the ability to upload your Gerber files, which is just the circuit board layers. Once it's uploaded and you've approved the upload, because they will process the upload and show you what they think it's going to look like, and they get you to sign it off, so to speak. And once that's done, then it goes off for processing to be produced. And normally that takes about 3 to 5 days, but it's been a week now, so I'm a little concerned about that. I did manage to get the iPhone diagnostics board down to under 50 by 50 millimeters, or 2 by 2 inch, so I was quite happy about that, because that saves me, oh, here we go, we've got threats. Alright, oh, are they real threats, or are they just, I found a registry entry that I didn't like? Oh, it's not letting me see. Why not? Oh well, there we go. Bit of action. They should have animations showing the scanner dueling with the viruses. That should be fun. I updated 2 Windows 10 systems with the Creators Update to check out Bash and see if updates would propagate locally between the updated machines. They don't yet. Oh, okay. I mean, to be fair, and I'm sort of a little bit, how could you say, spoilt with the high-speed internet and unlimited here. I don't ever set up a local cache or sharer for the Windows updates. I just let each machine do it each time. My connection to Microsoft from here gives me around about 2.5 megabytes a second, so I'm fine. It's strange. I thought that I got to see what the infected files were. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing it. Maybe they've updated the software again. Oh well. Let's see. And let's see how we go. 100% complete. Did not find any integrity violations. Thank God for that. Oh, damn it. This isn't Unix. You can't control D out of here. Alright. Yeah, Mike, I think it'd be a bit fun. Liven things up. Has anyone ever played Core Wars? If you're under the age of probably 35, you probably haven't heard of, well, haven't seen it. And I'm just curious because Core Wars is something that I used to play with my fellow computer addicts back at school. So we're talking the 1980s. Quarantine from Advert Cleaner. How did I miss all these? Okay. I like the old file transfer animation that showed pages flying between the folders. Yeah, but that slowed down the transfer by about 50%. Then I remember Vista with the initial update, and you tried to transfer files, and it would get about 25% in, and then it just like die. You couldn't do anything. Luke Filewalker. Slider 68. How about Gerber files? Found a way to convert PDF files to Gerber. Yeah, the trouble with the Gerber files is they're just polygons, so we can't do anything really with them, which is unfortunate. Like I said, if I can get someone who has the required program to view and export these iPhone PCB files, if they can export them to the ASCII format version, then we're fine. It only has to be done once. Someone has to package it up in a big blob, and that's it. You'll be famous. Maybe not to the right people, but you'll be famous. Didn't get my first computer till '92. Okay. Yeah, I didn't get my first good computer until around about then. Part of that I had my XT 10 megahertz. Though I do miss the big flip switch on the back. That was always a great start to the morning. Wake up, stagger out of bed, reach around to the back of the computer and clack, bring it up, walk out, go get your coffee. How long have you had your hot air station? It's getting close to a year now. Luke, I am your root directory. Be more than happy to post them if I can get them. Yeah, well, I mean, I have got the after mentioned PCB binary files, obviously because I've been testing, but I get people telling me that they have the program that can read and export them, but no one's actually giving back to me the ASCII version export. So I don't know what the deal is. So I've got a lot of promises being made by a lot of people, and so far nothing's turned up. So I'm getting a little discouraged about that. It's a bit like Lewis looking for, but not asking for, board views and schematics. So, yeah, I'm very happy with this hot air station, and they're still available for just on 201 Australian dollars, and that comes with a Omnivice type thing. So I bought mine for 250, and that was just for itself, and I still thought it was a good deal. Now, I think if you can't reach up to, say, getting a Weller or a JVC or whatever, I think things like this are perfectly good. I mean, Jason of SDS uses it all the time. Chris Long, he's always using his all the time. Yeah, and they're consistent. They do have enough power behind them. I've used it on Mac boards, PC laptop boards. So yeah, and then of course there's the quick. I don't know the quick number, but I think it's TCRS is using them. So there's definitely options there for 200 or less, which are perfectly good. The ones you don't want to get are the ones where they've got the actual blower unit in the handle. If you've got a blower unit in the handle, then that's it. That's a limited to 2-layer simple circuit board. You won't get much else out of it. So, I got this today. Let's see. I'll just stretch this open a little bit. There we go. This here is a little UV torch. I don't know what it's going to do with the camera. Yeah, shows up. It cost me a whole $6. Uses a single AA battery, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's quite well made. I don't know how long it's going to last. I can see the chip element in there. It's like looks like a six wafer in a single assembly. So yeah, I've got it for picking out security things on boards. I'm also getting a UV pen tomorrow, so now I can write things on these boards. Maybe he should stand on the corner with a sign that will work for Apple schematics. Yeah. Oh dear. Or burritos. Oh man. Let's quit stuffing around here. There we go. Get back down there. The flickering screen thing that drove me batty this morning. It was like I could barely watch it because of that. I wasn't able to watch it live, but yeah, and I see Lewis pretty much got to rage at the end of it at all the people making their suggestions. The 852, I'm pretty sure the 852 is the same as what I've got with a different faceplate, because mine's listed as a 952, but really I think they're the same. Quick 861 DW, that's the one, yeah. The biggest problem with me is I haven't been able to find a supplier of the Quick in Australia, and as we're finding out with the microscope, if you're importing anything over about 8 pounds, anything heavier than 8 pound, and it costs a fortune to get it shipped into Australia. Hey, iPhone, I don't know if I'm your favourite. If I'm your favourite, then maybe you need to find some more people. So no, I appreciate that though. The other thing I got, because I had customers not turning up on my doorstep at the right times and things like that, I spent a little bit of money on getting my business stuff sorted out. So for the first time in, let me think now, 30 years of doing business, I actually bought myself business cards. So yeah, you're not going to be able to really see this very well, but anyway, that's just a cheap, nasty Vistaprint. Cost me a whole $9, and I didn't even do the design myself. I just used one of their templates, slapped it out, so that'll do. And I got my vinyl banner from them, which is now sitting out the front on the fence. And I've got my new letterbox with the numberings. So if anyone doesn't find this house now, then they're probably not the sort of person I want to have as a customer. I have a cheap Yihua station. CTPC, what does that mean? It stands for Charters, Towers, Phone and Computer Repairs. We'll bring it up. Let's go to my trashy website. This, for a person who used to professionally do websites, it's hilarious how low I've let myself go. So this is all my business website is. It's just nothing but a single page with a bunch of links down the bottom. Zazzle for my cards, using their templates. Yeah, I mean, in the old days, everybody used to spend a lot of money on well, you'd either spend a lot of money on getting your card designed and a lot of money getting them printed, or you'd spend no money and if you're really terrible, you would go out and you'd buy those pre-cut templates for putting your inkjet printer. Those things were terrible. I never used them myself, but yeah. I had to laugh in American using DV6, but no problems with my last IO, but JVC, buy more. Yeah, I mean, there's the airflow thing. I do wonder how much the airflow is required. I guess it must be. Give me another year or two and maybe I'll be experienced enough. Have you had anyone bring you a landline phone? No, thankfully not. Not many people have those anymore around here. I mean, we have our landlines, but it's all for broadband. Found a way to get from China very low shipment costs, arrive within 14 days. Yeah, that would actually be something, IT. I wish they could do it with the microscopes from Amscope. 21st month of the year. Yeah, best we don't go into the rest of the world versus America on standards. GTX 1060 came in. Oh, well, we won't be seeing you around for much then, Chris. And go and enjoy that. If you ever need any graphics, I'm assuming, let me know and thank you. Oh, will do, Brian. I used to do graphics design a fair bit. It's just one of those things I've fallen out of. I'm explicitly avoiding web design jobs because anyone who's been in it for a while will know trying to get a client to sign off a job is it's impossible. Yeah, the Avery label, inkjet printer business cards, my god, yeah, those things must have cost more than what Vistaprint would cost. I mean, it's like $9, $10 for this, and that's 250 of them. That's going to last me pretty much until I change my brain or change my business. Yes, it blows the chips away as you never find them, yeah. Anything you felt? Okay, whoops, yep. It's got a hay bale moisture measure one. What the hell is that? Oh, Chris, I ordered my set of direct heat iPhone stencils. I made sure they were direct heat ones because I know that if you get the standard ones they warp or something like that, which is understandable. So I got it for everything from the iPhone 4 up to the iPhone 6S Plus. Whether I'll actually end up using them or not, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Business, it's hard getting started doing it yourself. Yeah. Yeah, I've always been business for myself, right from probably the time I was 14, 15. I mean, I was still at school, but I was already doing contracted work. You'll use the iPhone 6 one a lot. Practice your reballing. I practice my balls all the time. The other day you said minimum warranty time in Australia is 3 months. How long is warranty for an iPhone 5, 6, 7? How much does that cost? Let's see, what's this 3? Yeah, I'm fairly sure minimum warranty in Australia is 3 months. At least that's what I understand. I haven't really exactly looked at it. The warranty on the iPhone 5, 6, 7s, or to date, I believe the standard warranty is 12. You can extend it out to 36 months, I think. But yeah, legally, I think there has to be at least a 3 month, unless it's second-hand goods or something like that. Farm brought in and said it didn't work anymore. I'm just hoping a solder joint. Oh, yeah, fingers crossed. So, Chris, I've got a lot of iPhone 4, 4Ss that I'm going to be practicing on. I still get them a fair bit. I get a lot of data recover requests on them. To date, most of the time it's just ends up being a smash screen, bad battery, busted on-off switch, or something like that. Or at least something I can just toothbrush away and get running long enough. But I do have a number of them that I've been keeping in my sort of like archive drawer that people, they're not, how could you say, they're not worried if they never get the data off, but if I ever do get the data off, they'd be happy to have it. So I won't be starting with those ones. I've got a bunch that are actually completely cactus and VCC shorts, things like that. So I'll start on those for the first couple of weeks and work my way up, and hopefully by the end of it I'll be able to get the data off for people. But you've already put a bit of fear into me with worrying about the PMIC, so I seem to have a few of those. See, my import tax on weight. No, sorry. I mean, in Australia, the import tax is if you're over $1,000, at least until July 2018, you then pay import taxes. If it's under $1,000 Australian, you don't pay anything. It just gets delivered straight to your door. No paperwork, nothing, which is beautiful. I am going to have to get a little bit strategic about when I order my microscope, because if I order my Barlow lens, the 0.7, and just the 1 by, it's just a protector cover, then I'm going to push over my $1,000 Australian limit. So I may have to make two separate orders. Maybe I'll order the LED assembly separately as well. Okay, it looks like this scanner is going to take all night. Do you do micro soldering? I suppose it depends what you call micro soldering. I mean, I will solder down to 0402 without any problem, just using my magnifying lamp now. The magnifying lamp is a 2.25. It's a 5 diopter. I have done smaller stuff when I'm working on the MacBooks, and that's usually done blind. So I mean, I'll have this, but it's still basically blind. Like I did a clock circuit the other month and I couldn't really see what I was doing, but I was just going by feel. Do you have any experience repairing motherboard BIOS server? No, I definitely don't. So maybe I'm being a bit picky or something like that, but when those sort of laptops come in, I just generally, usually because they're quite old at the time, I just generally tell people to go get a new one or something like that. Most of the time the ones that I do fix are power issues, short circuits on the rails or something like that. Typically it's like a blown ceramic capacitor that's shorted out. Is there a modern HBPP that doesn't require all parallel serial port? Oh, hang on. What's HVPP, HVSP? Have I missed something here? Possibly. Hi. Man, this scan's going to take all night. I already know what I'm going to be telling these people. I'll just sort of say, look, we can clean it up and it'll be half reasonable performance-wise, or you can get a faster disk drive and that'll help a bit more too. Ever repair ATX switch mode supplies without standby voltage? No. I don't mind fixing the bad caps or blowing fuse or something like that, assuming it's a simple fuse blow as opposed to completely shattered to death, in which case you got a serious short, which is probably one of the switching transistors or something like that. Most power supplies these days, unless it's an obvious bad cap problem, I don't bother touching them. Does Pernov have his own channel? I don't think he does. I mean, he's always in the Open Board View IRC chat line, and I see him occasionally, obviously, on Lewis's streams. I'm not sure. I think he does have a YouTube account, obviously, because he appears on here. but yeah, I'm not sure if he's doing anything yet. He has made mentions that he wants to start doing streamings or edited videos, so it'd be worth checking out. I want to upgrade my microscope, so once you start using microscope, you're spoiled, and I'll look at stuff and say, wow, how do I even do it without a microscope? Yeah, I look back at a lot of the laptops that I have fixed, and I wonder how I did it sometimes. There was one of the first ones I did when I started doing this. It was a Dell piece of junk. Funnily enough, it was the Dell that gave me this power brick, so it's a bit of a laugh. It ended up having a corroded via going to the graphics chip, and I don't even know how I found that because all I had was schematics, and somehow I managed to work out where it went and how to fix it. And I look back at that and I go, what the, how the hell did I even know what I was doing? Suddenly I could start playing the accordion or something. No standby, good chance of primary side problem. The other thing is with a lot of switch mode power supplies, I mean, you buy them $40. It's like it's hard to justify spending the time to fix them. The only time I will do a bad cap replacement in them is, if it's obvious, and if I feel like I've got spare time. I don't really, I can save myself the $40 of buying a new one just by putting a cap that I already have on hand. Yeah, that's pretty slim. G'day, Dildo Schwaggins. Yeah, I'm pretty much closing up too, though. When I turn it on, the light bulbs dim a little. Is that momentarily or permanently? Because if it's permanently, that's a pretty interesting problem. I'm going to swap a power supply MOSFET and a DSP for one with a lower RDN. Well, that should work in that sort of situation. The only thing you might want to watch, though I don't think it will be a problem, is usually when you go for a lower RDS on, it is reflected back in terms of a higher QT, total gate charge requirement, and if the driver chip that's doing the switching doesn't have the capacity to drive that gate hard enough, then you will start getting weird overheating effects or singing going on. So that's the only thing you got to watch out. Most of the time, if you have a more recent MOSFET compared to what they've got, and if the QT value is within 5 or 10%, then you're usually pretty good. I got caught out once. I went from I think the resistance was perhaps a 20 milliohms, and I put a 5 milliohm one in there, but my gate charge was significantly higher and the driver chip couldn't push it, and so it just sort of like sat there and cooked because it could never get the gate to completely turn on hard enough, fast enough, and so it was living its life in the resistive mode, which cooked it. Didn't have a long life, but yeah. Yeah, as long as those specs are close enough, you're usually pretty good. Yeah, if you look at UC38, I don't know that driver. Yeah, just check it out. Most of the time, the driver chips themselves won't really declare what they can push, how fast, at least in the way it's useful, so it's easy just to check on the MOSFET comparison. So, we did have the problem with some, like the Razer laptops. This was PB Henry 3, where we, together simultaneously sort of thing, we were getting these laptops in that were singing. It was probably the coils making the noise, but it's a little hard to tell sometimes. But there was just a case of the MOSFETs weren't quite matched up right, and they didn't get out of their resistive mode. So, the other thing to watch, of course, is the gate turn on threshold. But these days, these days most of the MOSFETs are really good. I can't stand using normal BJTs. It's just, they drive me insane. Which is why I probably never created audio amplifiers. I mean, I know there are FET audio amplifiers. They're a little harsh according to most audiophiles, but yeah. So, alright, I think this is obviously going to take a while to finish, all night. Interesting, it's still sitting on 5 through 12. A bloody wild tangent crap in there. Oh well, it'll run all night. That reminds me, I better turn off the power. It's one thing that catches me far too often. I forget to disable their power management. Then I come back in the morning and it's all asleep. Oh, that brightened things up. Never good. Okay. I need to install a webcam in this workshop that's overlooking everything. So if I come back to a machine and it's turned off or something's not what I'm expecting, I can go back and go, oh, that's why. Oh, well. Anyway, I appreciate you all popping in. I know it wasn't a very interesting stream. I will admit I'm pretty much just trying to mark the days off until I get the microscope. I think once the microscope arrives, once my new workbenches arrive, and everything else comes along, it should be significantly more interesting. I will obviously still do general PC laptop stuff because I know some people find it just interesting to toss around ideas and what could be happening. But yeah, hopefully we'll have a lot more under the microscope type stuff coming in and keep our addiction going. So yeah, Leslie, like I said, I mean, I don't mind the chatting and all that. I just worry that sometimes it gets a bit dragged out. So we'll see. We'll mix it up. I'll keep on chatting, and definitely I'll keep on doing the laptops and all the other odd things that come in. That is the nice thing about where I am now, is all the different types of jobs that come in. So keeps it mixed up, keeps it interesting. Alright, I'm out of here. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time, 2:15 in the morning here. So I'm basically going to have my rinse, bowl of breakfast cereal to get me ready, and go to bed. Till then, take care. I'll see you later.